Hey, thanks for watching this video. This video is a little astrological weather update for everyone, for the collective. There are some signs that I will talk about that are really like going through or experiencing a lot of celestial weather storms that are affecting their energy. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but I'm not going to break it down by sign. What's going on is that we're in a new calendar year. The calendar year beginning in January has very little importance when it comes to the way that the astrology that I practice and tune into experiences the year. The new beginning that I am interested in when it comes to a sort of annual perspective is actually beginning in the springtime with the spring equinox. However, I do enjoy tapping into the energy of new beginnings each month with the new moon, and this month in January of 2021 is no different. In addition to it being sort of a potent time because of all of the energy that we're putting into the idea of this new year and all of the discussion around it, there is an astrological conjunction. So the new moon will be aligned with the planet Pluto, which is in Capricorn and has been in Capricorn for some time. So the experience that I am really looking forward to with that is planting new seeds for transformation in the areas of my life that are Capricorn themed. And that is something that I encourage for you to do as well, and something we'll talk more about next week. That new moon is coming up on January 12th. As I record this video, it is January 3rd, and let's see, what did I want to say about January 3rd? Nothing in particular. In a couple of days, we have the movement of Mars transitioning from Aries to Taurus, which is a whole other vibe and probably about to throw off Aries and Mars dominant beings very much so as we shift into the earth and out of our home space of Aries, which is fire. So another thing that is going on as it relates to Aries, and I almost didn't make this video because I actually have so much to say in the Aries realm that I feel like it's kind of annoying and unfair, but it occurred to me that this does impact everyone for multiple reasons, because everyone does embody the entire astrology chart to some degree. So we're all impacted by Aries energy no matter what. But because so many different planets are sort of at odds with Mars in Aries right now, that tells me that the experience that humans are having with Aries and Aries themes are across the board challenging. And so even if you're not an Aries person, sun, moon, rising, for instance, perhaps you are being impacted by an Aries in some way. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. We also have in the celestial weather, the planet Uranus is stationing direct on January 14th, so that's coming up. And this square that Saturn and Jupiter are making to that planet is getting more intense. And Jupiter's square to that planet comes up here pretty quickly. Saturn takes a little bit longer, is moving more slowly, which is what it does. And it's not a problem, but it is definitely a part of the excitement for this year in 2021. And of course, by excitement, I do also mean upheaval. We'll talk more about that throughout the year. I'm also considering doing a workshop or recorded video for the astrological forecast of 2021. If you would comment below about whether or not that is something you would be interested in, I will consider putting that together in a couple of weeks. Other important weather for January is the Mercury retrograde, which begins at the end of the month, but we will be entering into the territory that will then be revisited mid-month. So mid-month January is when I would advise, as much as you can help it, to have contracts negotiated and done and in place, and then to leave contract negotiations as much as you can until we're done with the Mercury retrograde, which is at the end of February. So that is my little contract negotiation advice. I'm bringing it up now, even though it really doesn't begin until mid-month / end of month, because that I want you to hear this. Get on it. If you're mid-negotiations or if you've been putting something off, do it. That's advice I gave to myself. I find it very annoying to take care of these things, but it was like, all right, it is really in my best interest to deal with this now. So Aries is in a fight. Aries people may be having difficulty with the following signs: Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Scorpio. And for Aquarius is ruled by 2 different planets, and there is some fuckery going on with both planets. In the one sense, I would say that the experience is a little bit like Aries and Aquarius ruled by Uranus, are in each other's business, and there's like no way for separation to occur. So for one person that's coming to mind, it's their child. It's an Aquarius parent with an Aries child, and there is no separation. There is nowhere you can take the child. The child is home during the pandemic because of schools closed and all this different stuff. There's such limitations on the ways that we would have normally received support or relief. And even where some schooling or classes are an option, there is so much there's like so much heaviness around everything that we're doing. Even the places that are open, the rules that you have to follow to participate are so stressful that children are not getting relief, because while they're there, not only are they having to like listen to the what adults are telling them to do, but they're feeling the pressure that some of the things that the adults are talking about are so directly connected to our experience collectively of safety. And though we're not talking about it very often, at the baseline of all of this is our collective fear of death and making death taboo. So now it's in our lives. We don't want to talk about it, but now it's like in our lives. The way that it's coming through is not with compassion and love and a big picture perspective on the cycle of life. No, it's not that. In fact, what we're hearing again and again is this tremendous crisis, chaos, and seriousness. Also, moral judgments very heavily coming through for any of the mandates that you are not following to the best of your abilities. Which means that even in the areas where schools are open, that everything that we're going through to participate in these gatherings is stressful. There is so much stress across the board. The big, powerful, intense, problematic energy that we're getting from the Mars to Pluto square is beginning to lessen. We are moving away from that. But we do have squares just all over the place from Mars. I already talked to you about them. I would say that the folks who are having the best experience with Mars and Aries energy at this time would be Taurus and Libra. And then sort of more neutral, so not the best experience necessarily, but the more neutral folks would be Leo and Cancer. Also to some degree Capricorn. The sun in Capricorn is not making a tense angle to Aries at this time. And I can't picture it in my head what I was about to say. Sorry. Here's something else I wanted to address with y'all. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about, again, I am asking you to meditate and use your imagination. In my last video, where I remember I was crying, I made a video and then cried and then posted it on the internet. So last time you saw me crying because of so much emotion that was stirred up for me around this request I'm making for you to continue to dream. So I'm just going to read from what I wrote down at that time. The aspect is still happening in the stars at this time. We know, reflected in our environment, how difficult it is to do things as simple as going grocery shopping at this time. How it's impossible for some of us to get together with the people that we love. And some of us are really missing connection. And it's so challenging. Life can feel right now so challenging that it seems absurd, selfish, or even immoral to be dreaming your own personal dream. But I invite you to do it anyway because it is sorely lacking vibrationally in our experience at this time on this planet. So anything that you can do to contribute to this vibration, to this frequency vibrating rather, you are helping us. And pleasure, joy, dreams, art, beauty, all sorely lacking. Joy, laughter, orgasm, ecstasy, bliss, lacking. Anytime you are engaging in any practices that elicit those responses and create those feelings and transmit those frequencies, you are helping us. As long as you're not selling yourself out to get there, like violating your own personal health and safety boundaries. Some of you know what I'm talking about. We are leaving behind pleasure at the expense of our emotional security. That's old. We're moving away from that. We're moving into safe, secure, and trusted pleasure, beauty, art. We're moving into that. So right now feels really terrible. The next 3 months are going to be difficult. And there's a lot that we're going to go through between now and a point in the future where pleasure is more accessible and is like up in the air. Right now what we have up in the air is oppression and gaslighting and divisiveness, right? This is all what's up in the air right now. Also though, transformation, finally seeing what's real, being liberated from our old stories, standing up to our oppressors, being honest about the ways that we've been complicit, seeing our own dysfunction. This is all what's up right now. There's a future that's astrologically supported by experiencing pleasure and being in a more appreciative of beauty state, right? And that, I want to say, is accessible now. It's just not like right around you for you to pull in easily. So you must use your intention if you want to. If you want to, the way to get there is through intention and mindfulness. Intentionally going into a space of dreaminess, to dream of your heart's desires being fulfilled. That's my dream still, is that you will connect with me. I don't know how that came out word. I was trying to say 2 different things at once. Connect with me, meet me there. Connect with me in the vibration of dreaminess, and let's dream a little dream. The beginning of my dream, of my heart's desires fulfilled, it starts the same every time. And it starts with, this is where I want to cry, but it starts with every living being's needs being met, being a collectively held priority. And that is the baseline for this future existence, where our basic needs are met and and are an agreed upon priority. Everyone's. Just picture it. Like if you can picture that with me for just a moment, if we can hold that for just a moment, we are sending the vibration out and we are keeping alive the possibility. Okay? And then from there, what is it that you dream of that's your personal dream? Your personal realization of beauty, your personal creative expression come to fruition before your eyes. The celebration of your gift being shared with the world, the birth of your child, if it's a human baby, or if it's the birth of your book that you've been writing for years, or that you wrote in a fit of creative inspiration over the weekend. Listen, there are no rules. It's not even the point. What your dream is isn't even the point. I don't even care. I care, but I don't care, right? Like I want to know because I want to dream with you. But your dream isn't right or wrong. It's yours. And I would love to hold space for that. And I would love for you to hold some space for that as well. And that is an invitation, an astrologically informed invitation for right now. It's having the courage and the audacity to dream when it seems like you have no business doing so. Okay? That's it. That's it, kids. That's all I got for you, except for much, much, much more, which will come later because I love to do these videos and talk to you. I am cutting back on the free videos here, and we'll be starting a subscription later of how to work with the lunar cycles to give us some astrological variety as we meet each month, each lunar cycle. And I was really feeling inspired by my experience of 2020, where the slower moving planets had been in this certain vibe, and I was just really impacted by it in my experience of the world. Going out into the world, I couldn't avoid it. I found myself noticing that some variety was lacking in my life, and part of it was the way that I was tuning into the energy. So while I want to be aware of the slower moving planets for sure, what I'm looking toward for 2021 is a connection to the feminine through the moon and the moon cycles as a means to enrich my life and work with manifestation. So maybe you'll join me with that. That will be super fun, but I will still do these weather updates for the month that's more general and not focused on the moon. So keep tuning in. Thank you so much. This is super long.